I'm Ed Mullen. I want to welcome you all and thank you for coming to a very special occasion to celebrate the marriage of our daughter Kate to Drew Logan. I think all of you would agree that Kate absolutely looks beautiful in her dress. I was just stunned by how great she looked in her dress.
It's a culmination of a long time. I mean, it seemed like long ago. It was like, they got engaged and it's, the wedding is, and it's like the time when, you think, oh, but that's a long way away. And now it's here.
It was my honor and privilege to escort her down the aisle. My daughter is competent, compassionate, and an extremely loving young lady. So Drew is an absolute credit to you, Paul and Sue. He is polite, well-mannered, and extremely likable young man, and I'm not going to welcome him to our family because we've already adopted him as a son.
Probably one of the most generous, kind people I've ever met, wrapped up in any variety of somewhat embarrassing t-shirts that he would wear out in public on a regular basis, much to all of our detriment.
But yeah, both super quirky, both super fun, and I think that's what makes them work. They don't take themselves too seriously. They like to have fun, they like to be silly.
So one day at brunch, she says to me, "Mom, I'm talking to this guy on Bumble, and I think I know him. And he befriended me on Facebook, and I thought it was Drew Logan from GMA." She said, but then all of a sudden, he unfriended me, so I'm not sure.
He's like, oh, I met someone, and we used to go to middle school together. I was like, all right, that's interesting. He's like, I don't think she remembers me from middle school. And I was just like, well, I think she might, so we'll see. You know what, honestly, when I met her, I was just like, yeah, this girl gets Drew.
Emily, Katie, and Drew would have the Bumble fairy tale, where they would reconnect with their person that they met years and years ago in grade school. We had two sisters with an unbreakable bond. We had lots of trips to Disney. One of the most memorable when we made friends on the monorail with the help of a whoopee cushion. And we also met the Backstreet Boys bodyguard, which was they were a really big deal at the time. I was always stuck with Katie, and she was always stuck with me, but now you're stuck with us too. Kate has always been there for me at my best times and at my worst times, and I know that I can call her and she will drop whatever she's doing.
Oh my God, Kate, it's great. You look beautiful. Oh, I'm so happy for you. And then as I look at my daughter, I can't help but reflect on all the years I was lucky enough to watch her grow and become a beautiful woman she is today. She captured my heart on the day she was born and became more and more in awe of her as the years passed. She is my little girl, my princess, my ray of sunlight, and no matter what her age is, she will always continue to be that.
Always your daughter and best friend for you.
Then we went through the kissing the frog stage. Took a lot of kissing of frogs before we found Prince Drew. And I gotta tell you, when Drew came along, and I see my daughter today so happy and radiant, it's truly an amazing experience, but tinged with a little bit of sadness. When he called us and he said, "Can I stop over and talk to you and Bonnie?" Well, I guess we knew what that was all about. So I said, sure, come on over. So he said, can I have your daughter's hand in marriage? He said, I want to marry Kate. And I said, I'd love to have you as a son-in-law, Drew, but first you have to answer the 5 questions. And you should have seen the look on his face. What are, and then I finally said, I'm only kidding. You know, we don't have any 5 questions.
Looks like a princess. I love it.
I can't. I have the chills.
Yeah. Yes.
Fancy seeing you here. You look beautiful.
I want to welcome everyone and thank you for coming to this wonderful celebration of the marriage of Drew and Kate. You know, when I was truly honored when Kate and Drew asked me to be the deacon at their wedding and to preach today. It is an incredible privilege. Thank you, Drew and Kate. But I have to admit that I really struggled with what to say. I wondered, what can I possibly say to Kate that Bonnie and Ed haven't already told her? What could I possibly say to Drew that Sue and I haven't said before? And after months and months, I came up with only one thing. But being a lawyer, sometimes it takes me a while to get to the point. So please bear with me if I first share with you some of the other things that I discovered along the way.
Come on, girl, you love it. Work that dress. It looks great on you.
Kate and Drew, we're gathered here to witness your vows, your profession of love for each other, and the vows that you exchange and the promises you make to each other today create an unbreakable bond that joins you together as a husband and a wife. Not a Hollywood kind of love, or the kind that you read about in romance novels, but it's the kind of love that Christ has for his church, the kind of love that always places the other first, the kind of love that we are reminded of every time we look at the cross, the kind of love that is willing to sacrifice everything for the one you love. You know, Kate and Drew, that in just a few minutes we will witness the vows you make to one another. But you know what? There are other vows being made here today, many of them quietly, softly. Some you may not hear, but they're being made nonetheless. They are the vows of those who love you, the vows of your moms and dads, your family and your friends, vows that they will always be there for you. Now, Kate and Drew, I promised you that when I started, eventually I would get to the one thing that took me months and months to realize. So if you remember nothing else that I have said today, please remember this one thing: trust in this day. Trust in this day. Never ever doubt that God had this day in his divine mind from before time began. That he desired that one day in September 2001, you would meet at Gwynedd Mercy Academy in Mr. Paul's 7th grade homeroom. Then after that school, he would lead you both in very different directions. But that after 12 years, through his providence and by his plan, He would bring you back together into each other's lives, into each other's arms.
Remember the love of, of each other, the love that Paul and I have and Bonnie and Ed have for them, their siblings, all the friends, and the love of God that, brought everything together. To me, it's just all about the love.
And no matter what comes your way in the future, the good or the bad, the easy or the hard, the happy or the sad, never, ever forget. Trust in this day.
Good evening, everyone. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Drew's younger brother, Ryan. I'm so happy that Drew and Kate found each other again after so long, and that Kate is going to be a part of the family. I'd like to thank Mr. and Mrs. Mullen for hosting this beautiful wedding, but most of all for being the great parents of the perfect wife for my brother. I'd also like to thank my parents, Paul and Susan, for being such an inspiration for us growing up, letting us see firsthand what it means to be in love.
Drew, I am your father. But from now on, Kate is your wife. May the force be with you.
I really couldn't be happier that Kate and Drew have chosen each other. I think I was really happy Drew came along because I had another person to team up with, Katie against. We just make fun of her a lot. The way she says, move, love my place. One time they came down to visit me in Wilmington, and I said, let's order DeMayo's. And Kate thought it was a fancy way of me saying Domino's. So she's a little disappointed that we did in fact get DeMayo's and not Domino's. So somewhere over the years, we put aside our differences and we really came to appreciate them. I would never be the compassionate, thoughtful, and nice sister, and she would never be the short-tempered, kind of demanding and bitchy sister. It's true. And then Katie went to college. I'm not sure if it counts if you come home every weekend and call your mom every day. But she did graduate top of her class, so, she did something right.
Now, I know that my brother didn't have an easy decision choosing his best man. First, he called the most trustworthy and smartest person he knew, but he said no. Then he asked the most attractive person he knew, but he said no too. Then he called me, begging me to do it. And I said, okay, Drew. I can't say no to you 3 times. I'll do it. I was happy when Drew met his one true love. Of course, that was me 27 years ago when I came home from the hospital. And from that day, Drew has been a great brother. Growing up, I always thought my brother was brave, fearless. I really wanted to be like him. But then there were a few things that happened that every once in a while made me wonder if I was right. The one time was when we visited the scariest place on earth, Disney World. And it wasn't because of any of the roller coasters or the centrifuge at Mission Space. Drew never got on any of those rides. But what Drew didn't realize was that he would encounter the scariest, most ominous Disney character of all time in the most unlikely of places. The girl mouse from the movie Cinderella at the restaurant in the Grand Floridian. So when Drew and Kate got engaged in Disney World, I knew that Drew had faced down one of his greatest fears, oversized rodents.
Drew, I know she will take care of you at your best and at your worst and whenever you need it. You have been so patient and so kind and loving, and you put up with her and me and our family. But I really, really am happy for you too. And I already cried earlier, so I'm not going to cry again. And I guess I'll wrap it up. And best of luck to you too. I mean, you guys know I will be there, third wheel in it. I always am.
I learned a lot from Drew over the years. I learned it was okay to make mistakes. I learned it was okay to be different. I also learned it was okay to spend $75 on a men's haircut and have a different cologne for every day of the week. Drew has always been kind and thoughtful when it comes to me. Now, I really missed Drew the year he went to college at UNCW. I was pretty sure he missed me too. The next year, I went away to college at Virginia Tech. Being a freshman and far away from home was somewhat hard. But on my birthday in September, I received an email from Drew. It was amazing and heartfelt. He told me that he was grateful I was his brother, that we'd always be best friends, even though we were now in different places. He thought I was extremely smart and would do great at college. What a great email. It meant a lot. 5 seconds later, I got another email. It was just one sentence. It read, "Mom made me send the last email." He is kind, loving, loyal, hardworking, and ambitious. So Kate, I know you already know this, but you can take it from me because I've known Drew all my life. You married a man with the courage of a lion and the heart of a giant. Drew is your protector, so there's nothing for you to be afraid of, ever. And to Mr. and Mrs. Mullen, I can assure you that you have nothing to fear. Drew loves your daughter, and there is nothing my brother won't do to protect those he loves. Kate and Drew, separately, you are two very special, remarkable people. But together you are complete. And to borrow from Disney, as you sit side by side through this roller coaster of life, remember to scream from the peaks, hold hands through the dips, laugh through the loops, and enjoy every twist and turn. May you guys enjoy a life of love, laughter, and joy, and happily ever after. Cheers.
I've never been a big believer in fate, but I'm kind of maybe, coming more around to that idea, and especially you kind of see something like this where you see two people where they met in elementary school and they went their separate ways and did their own thing, and this was years ago, and then they reconnect years later in life, and it's just blossoming into this relationship that it is now.
Drew, repeat after me. I, Andrew Michael, take you, Catherine Elizabeth, to be my wife.
I, Andrew Michael, take you, Catherine Elizabeth, to be my wife.
I, Catherine Elizabeth, take you, Andrew Michael, to be my husband.
I, Catherine Elizabeth, take you, Andrew Michael, to be my husband.
I promise to be faithful to you.
In good times and in bad.
In sickness and in health.
To love you and to honor you.
To love you and to honor you.
All the days of my life.
All the days of my life.
May the Lord in His kindness strengthen the consent you have declared before the church and graciously bring to fulfillment His blessing within you. What God joins together, let no one put asunder. My friends, Mr. and Mrs. Andrew Logan.
I'm just blessed that I was able to share this with Katie, as well as graduations and proms and all those moments that I didn't have a chance to share with my mom. Kate, you know I love you and will always be here for you. And Drew, we could not ask for a better son, and we will always be here for you, whatever you need. We love you.
I just remember Kate asking me one day, "Do you remember Drew Logan?" I was like, oh, yeah, I do. She's like, oh, no, he's cute now and he's a lawyer.
I've always looked up to Drew, figuratively and literally. After all, he is 6'3" and I'm 5'10". Okay, maybe 5'8".
So I wasn't always sure I was going to be here giving this speech for my sister and my best friend. Considering one time when we were younger, we got in the biggest fight that ended with Kate saying, Liz, when I'm older, I'm not even going to remember you. You know, I mean, logical reasons aside, you're going to remember me, but here I am. And Drew, just know it's an empty threat. She gets angry with you, she's going to remember you.